In 1985, Sierra founder Ken Williams, after learning that his hairdresser's husband was a cop on PTSD leave, invited Jim Walls over for a few beers. He offered the officer the chance to make a game for Sierra, and Jim, who'd barely ever even used a computer, agreed because, in his words, it beat sitting around and thinking about the shootout that had nearly gotten him killed. 2 years later, Police Quest was released to the gaming public, a game unlike the adventure games currently on the market. It wasn't as big a hit as Leisure Suit Larry, but sold well enough to justify another franchise in the Sierra game portfolio, with Jim Walls developing 2 more sequels over the next 4 years. I'll be playing the original EGA 1987 release. Sierra did a remake in 1992 using their newer point-and-click SCI engine. The game comes packaged with an information-dense manual stylized as a Lighton Police Department policeman's indoctrination guide. Their words, not mine. This covers your required equipment, hygiene standards, shower daily, use foot powder and deodorant, keep your uniform clean, be clean-shaven. We're given procedural guidelines, Radio 10 codes, vehicle codes, the kind of thing a real cop might get in their orientation packet. After that, we segue into the standard Sierra controls, how to move, what kind of verbs work, and end with a walkthrough getting the player out of the police station on their first day. Of note is that we are encouraged to comply with all of the previously mentioned police procedures, and the game is not kidding about this. We're also given 2 reference cards, 1, the rules of poker, and 2, hotkeys for controlling your car, using your gun, the radio, and how to shower. And finally, we have a city map. Before we get started playing, I'd like to thank the channel supporters and patrons, especially Eric Mason, Jeremy Dietzig, Feed Me Kittens, Theo, Karen Norton, John Schwartz, Nutrition Facts, Satanica9, Non-Square Pixels, Damien Peroski, and Drake Flaz. Without you guys, I couldn't keep doing this. Let's go ahead and get started. Alright, here we are with our standard Sierra interface. We've got our menu up top, about Police Quest, In Pursuit of Death Angel by Jim Walls, version 2.0G, released December 3rd, 1987. You've been playing for 3 minutes and 39 seconds. Most of that was on the title screen. We've got our help, which is the standard F function keys and what they do. Note that it says that F4, F6, F8, and F10 vary throughout the game depending on what we're doing with our car, radio, and or gun. Control D lets us radio dispatch. Control J sets up the joystick. We will be using our keyboard 10 keys. Tab shows the status screen. Escape shows the menus. And for our hint book, it gives us a little number down there. This is well into the point where Sierra was being supported, at least in part, by hint book sales. Some of these games are very obscure and difficult, and this one is, well, you'll see as we go along. We have our action menu, which is the same as it's been. Inventory, see object, and dispatcher. We do not have currently anything in our inventory. Special, sound, joystick, pause the game, and speed. We will, as usual, go to fast because our walking speed is otherwise pretty slow. And there's really not the standard Sierra danger of stairs we can fall off and die in this game, so that's at least one advantage we're going to have. We do want to keep it paused while I describe all this, simply because this opening is one of the few timed sequences in the game. If we take too long to get to the briefing room, which is where we need to be heading, they'll fire us and the game will be over. So we don't want to do that. But before that, we're going to have to go to the locker room, which is down over here. And we have a couple cops. We have a guy showering here at the locker. Open locker. If you haven't seen me play one of these before, the control scheme is using the 10 keys to walk around, but other than that, there's an interactive fiction parser in the AGI games. AGI does not stand for Artificial General Intelligence here. It's just the name of the engine, which is sort of an outgrowth of text adventure games, but with, the cartoony graphics that we see. What do we want out of our locker? Well, we're going to get all. The policeman's tool belt, don't leave home without it. You take a speed loader with 6 rounds of 357 Magnum hollow point silver jacketed bullets. Your briefcase contains many items you'll need in the field. Let's go ahead and open a case. And here we have a view of the case. We can get all out of it. And we can close it. Close case. Close locker. To get out of these screens. And now we need to get to the briefing room. I'm not taking time to look around yet because, again, I don't want to waste too much time. And here we are in the briefing room. And we took too long and we lost. So let's try that again. I did not save, so we'll have to restart. And this time I'll do it without explaining what I'm doing. I don't know for a fact whether or not increasing the speed decreases how much time we have to do things, so I'm just going to try to do this all quickly. Can you believe that Morris Fudley, every day he showers here because he's too cheap to shower at home? Says this cop here. Open the locker. Get all. Open case. Get all. Close case. Close locker. And then we need to go to the briefing room. I'm going to take a quick moment to save here. And let's get to the briefing room. All right. There is no clock. There is no time we can reference, by the way. Look, paper. You pick up the morning's edition of the Lighton Tribune. Dope in the city. The city of Lighton, once a beautiful, peaceful, quiet city with few problems, is now experiencing rapid growth and prosperity. But along with the growth has come an alarming increase in the crime rate that is, and we have to switch pages to get to the next page. Smugsville, USA President Hickel was in Smugsville yesterday evening observing the annual migration of the red-bellied swamp codlers. The president, who has been a bird lover since childhood, rates the mating dance of the codler as being as spectacular as the golden-crowned scum-sucker. The president candidly admitted that he once skipped and then it'll continue. Anyway, the point is, drugs are a problem, and homicide and prostitution is at a level never before seen in the city. Is there any other information in here that we need? A female prisoner escaped the prison. Lighton PD Chief Whipplestick has nominated Sonny Bonds, that's us, and Joe Walters for LPD Officer of the Year Award due to an outstanding effort and commitment in crime protection. So we're not really a super cop, but we're a good cop. And then we get back to the beginning. So we can drop the paper. Sonny Bonds, please find your place. Briefing is about to begin. Where is our paper? Well, there are no other cops in here for whatever reason, and not even anyone talking to us, so we're just going to have to try to figure out where we're supposed to go. Which is, because I've played this before, the left side of the top right desk. And we have people filling in. Here we go, our scene to position for briefings. I'm going to go ahead and turn the speed up so we don't have to watch these guys trudge in. Hey, Sonny, the story in the morning's paper has sure made you look good. Well, thank you. We also have 13 points so far, which is good. While we're waiting, let's go ahead and check our inventory now. We have our revolver, a briefcase, a pen, the Tribune, ammunition, a notebook, ticket book, and handcuffs. Sergeant John Dooley briefs the 1300 shift, beginning with the latest hot sheet of stolen rides. Welcome back, men, Sergeant Dooley said. I hope you enjoy the long weekend. Now listen up, P-Barks. We're looking for a black 1983 Cadillac, license number LOP1238, VIN, and then it gives a VIN number, reported stolen last week. Try hard to find it so I can get that Malcolm Washington character off my back for a change. And by the way, yes, you do want to be taking notes during these briefings because they will not repeat this information. And there's a means to do it in-game, but we cannot access that during the actual briefing, so text notes are also useful. Dooley continues. Now hear this. Last night, 3 teenagers were arrested in 3 separate arrests, each for drunk driving. 2 of the 3 were in possession of cocaine, and all 3 attend Jefferson High School. That should tell you something, boys and girls. Well, that's it for today. Watch your butts, kids. We don't want old Chief Whipplestick whining about our industrial injury stats. Going up again. Sonny Bonds, your call number will be 8332. We can drop our paper. Not here, I guess. Take notes. This is how we would take notes. We would be able to write anything, write something, or write nothing, or really just type whatever we feel like in order to do that. And we get points for doing so. Now let's look. Look in a hole. You check your pigeonhole and find a handwritten message. Sonny, how's about a 1198 at Carol's Caffeine Castle later in the shift? Steve. And if you look at the reference notes, an 1198 is one of our police codes for basically taking a break. Since you no longer need the message, you discard it. Look. Hole. Look. Hole. You look in Steve's pigeonhole and see a stack of subpoenas. Look. Hole. Quit snooping around other officers' pigeonholes. Well, that's fine. Let's go back to the hall. It sure clears out quick around here. Go up here. First of all, let's go ahead and look now that we have time. Around the hallway is a keyboard, not a computer keyboard, but a board with actual keys on it. A table holding radio extenders, a photograph on the far wall, and a barred window to the evidence room. Let's go ahead and get a radio. You pick up a squelchy, noisy, but workable extender. Let's get our keys. You take the patrol car's keys from the keyboard. And let's take a quick moment to look at our objects. Now that, again, we are no longer on a time pressure to do something very quickly. We didn't even make it doing without wasting too much time the first go-around. Okay, so we have our keys. These keys fit your government-issued, choked-down, limp-wristed patrol car. That is a interesting way to phrase that. Your departmental-issued double-action .357 Magnum service revolver is made of fine blue steel and equipped with a wooden grip. It can be a cop's best friend. Your handcuffs are stored in a pouch on the gun belt. This briefcase is made of impact-resistant plastic and has the name Sonny engraved in the finest imitation gold. I wonder if that really is standard-issue police gear, a briefcase, an embroidered briefcase. This pen was a gift from your mommy and daddy when you graduated from high school. Okay. Light and Tribune, we already looked at that. Radio extender. Your handheld radio extender works in conjunction with your patrol car's radio so you can talk to dispatch while out in your car. So it is not itself a radio, but it extends the range of your patrol car's radio. Your speed loader holds 6 rounds of ammunition for your service revolver. Combat is not a big part of this game. Notes, and here we have the notes that we wrote earlier. We can refer to them. However, because we cannot actually use the take notes command while they're giving a speech bubble, that limits its utility. You'll still have to want, any numbers you need to write down, like phone numbers or plates, license plate, or VIN numbers. And yes, you will need them. You'll have to actually write down in a physical notebook sitting on your computer desk. Your ticket book, otherwise known as a pinch book, is made of genuine cowhide. It is a necessary tool for traffic enforcement. Handcuffs. Your handcuffs are made of case-hardened steel and make a sweet sound when you ratchet them down tightly. Little fetishistic there. All right. Let's head out to our patrol car. We have various offices we're passing here. There's a table against the far wall below a photograph of the three doorways. The three doorways lead to Lieutenant Morgan's office, to the outside, and to narcotics office. What I do like about this game is that we're not a detective. We are a patrol officer. Let's go ahead and check out the patrol car. One of the things it tells us to do in the procedure manual is before we take our car out, we have to do a complete circuit of it to make sure there are no problems. We got to keep doing this until we get the message that we've done it right. There we go. Having performed the prescribed walk around safety check of your vehicle, you're now ready to hit the streets. If you don't do this, this is one of those Schrodinger's problems. If you do it, you don't find any problems, you can go out. But if you fail to do it, your car will blow a flat tire while you're driving around and it'll be game over. And that is only a problem if you didn't look for it. If you did look for it like we did, there's no issue. So to get into the car, we have to press F4. There we go. Press F4 to get out, get in, get out, get in. And then we have to close the door. And every time we get out of the car, we have to open door, F4, close door. Every single time. And does that get old? Yeah. You should be able to just type exit car or something, or just hit F4 to get out. But no, you have to do this and many other tasks in this game step by step, and it gets real old real fast. But there we go. We are now in our car. How do we drive? Well, we type drive. And this takes us to the city map. We are one of those cars in the parking lot in the upper left. We are the top leftmost car. Now, driving in this game is a pain. You do it with the arrow keys. In fact, I'm going to hit F5 and save because it is really easy to die while driving. And I do it a lot. I actually do die a lot. So we drive. And we do have to obey traffic laws. We can't blow through stoplights unless we have our sirens blaring. There we have a traffic light up ahead, as you can see. And we have to stay on the correct side of the road, otherwise we will get into accidents and crash. It is very easy to crash. And you will have to drive diagonally. So I guess that's this game's version of the Sierra Death Stairs is having to drive diagonally. Dispatch squawks 8332, which is our call number. Respond to 1183, southwest corner of Fig and 4th. And if we consult our map, we need to go to map B2. We are currently at D3, if you see at the top of the screen there. So to get to that, we'll have to go north for a while. And hopefully we won't crash into anything. And 1183, checking our procedural guide, is a car accident. So let's go ahead and check that out over at B2. Let's go ahead and save real quick. The nice thing about driving is that we can reverse just by pushing in the opposite direction. We don't actually have to do a U-turn. And it is safest to just kind of like drive around in the middle of the street like this, because you're far enough away from the sides that you won't accidentally crash too often. And then you have stuff like this where you're going under an overpass and you can't see yourself for a while, and that's kind of disconcerting. All right, we're at B3, so now we know to take a left. Ooh, almost hit that guy. And there's dispatch again. And there we can see the car right above the middle of the dispatch sign, a little rectangle that's at a diagonal, partially on the sidewalk. Save again. Upon your arrival at the scene of the accident, you observe a group of bystanders gawking at a green sedan that attempted to carve its own door in the side of a brick building. And this is basically the game. Again, we're not a detective. We are a patrol officer. So we drive around. If we see somebody speeding or something, we'll stop them. If we get a call, we'll respond to it. But that's the core of the game as a police procedural. So we can exit our car by taking exit. Here we have our situation. We'll go ahead and look. Being a highly trained observer, you immediately notice a smashed coupe on the sidewalk, a crowd of rubberneckers milling around nearby. The crowd includes one particularly anxious young man, which is, of course, a clue. Let's get out of our car, open door, F4, close door. And closing the door is important if we ever have to go inside of a building. If we leave our car door open, we'll come back to find our patrol car stolen and lose the game. Let's check out the driver. Look, man. You take a deep breath, look at the car, and see a male slumped motionless over the steering wheel. A close look reveals a bloody injury to the left side of his head and a gaping hole in his lower right jaw. So repeat the command. Look, man. No pulse, no breathing, no vital signs. There is a bullet hole in the driver's window. This is not your normal everyday traffic accident. In your opinion, this man was murdered. All right. Let's talk to the anxious young man. I'm not sure which one of these people that is. Talk to young man. An excited young man approaches you. Officer, he says, I saw what happened. I saw everything. I was buying a paper at the newsstand across the street when I heard the scream of tires, he tells you. I looked down the street, and here comes this car and a light blue late-model Cadillac racing down the street side by side. When they got closer, I heard a bang. I thought one of them had a blowout. But right after that, this car here lost control and crashed. The light blue Caddy just kept on jamming, he finished breathlessly. All I know is, says the young witness, I think I saw part of his license plate number, L964. And let's write that down. All right. Here's radio. You use your radio to advise dispatch of the apparent homicide. The car radio crackles a response. 10-4-8332, we copy 187 PC homicide. Be advised when the homicide unit en route and the coroner's office has been notified, continue investigation. You notified dispatch of the vehicle information. 10-4-8332, we copy 187 PC homicide, continue investigation. Again, you notify dispatch of the vehicle information. Dispatch, this is 8332. I'm not sure why that repeated several times. Be advised description of the suspect vehicle is a late model light blue Cadillac. 10-4-8332. We copy light blue Cadillac, partial license L964. 10-4-8332. Hamilton and Dooley are en route. Estimated time of arrival is momentarily. All right, so now we just gotta wait for them to show up. And yes, waiting is waiting in real time. And there are a few points in the game where you just have to sit and wait. Here we go. Homicide Detective Oscar Hamilton arrives with Sergeant Dooley. Dooley tells you Bonds Detective Hamilton will handle the investigation from here. I wonder if Sergeant Dooley is related to Officer Dooley from the Dark Side Detective games. Hit the streets and try to find the rat responsible, says Sergeant Dooley. I'll introduce the witness to Hamilton. And that's it. That ends our involvement in this situation for the moment. That is what a patrol officer does. We maintain the scene. We gather initial or mark initial evidence for the detectives to look at later, and then we move on. Get back into the car, close the door. And then we'll exit. All right. We're saving because we are currently penned in between the patrol car and the crashed vehicle, and I'm not entirely sure which one we are. I think we're the lower one, but it's impossible to really tell. There we go. Oh, almost crashed. In fact, if I can, I'm going to go ahead and change the speed to normal because, oh no, that is way too slow, isn't it? All right, I'm going to change that back to fast and just try not to crash. And now we need to just keep driving around. Oh, I was trying to get out of the way of the yellow car and I accidentally blew the red light, so we are going to have to reload. But fortunately, we did just save. So let's go ahead. Let these guys pass, and again, we're just gonna drive around until we see something or get our next call from dispatch. Oh, I'm trying to do a U-turn so I can go back up, but again, crashed. We're gonna go north this time. It really does feel just kind of aimless at this point. But I guess that's what being a cop is like. Steve Radio is 8332. This is 8331. Time for the 1198 at Caffeine Castle. All right. Fortunately, we're not too far away from Caffeine Castle. It's at, let me check the map, A3. So we passed it. We'll just have to head back up that way. I'm going to save it. God, almost hit me. And here we can see Steve's car. I really don't want to crash into it. Can I get out of it here? Nope. All right, I will have to kind of... There we go. Got to really kind of... Got to pull up to the curb. There we go. Little fiddly, but it did eventually let me actually do the thing that I was trying to do. Another little frustration of the game. This is the front entrance of Carol's Caffeine Castle and the lovely Wino Willie's Cocktail Lounge. Oh, I guess we just walked right in, huh? Sit. Talk to Steve. This is the most fundamental way to interact with the NPCs in this game, but it doesn't always work. Hey, Sonny, it's good to see you. Let's look around. Steve looks like he's on a caffeine high. Boy, this weather's been great. We're just kind of hanging out, I guess. Hey, Sonny, it's good to see you. Carol sets your coffee down and says, "Here you go, big boy, 1 caffeine IV. Look, Carol. Carol is a very busy woman. Drink coffee. You slam back your entire mug of Jamaican Java. Your eyeballs roll back in your head. Talk. Steve. Boy, this weather's been great. He's not a very talkative guy. Look, Steve? And we, again, mostly just wait for the next story beat. Carol yells at you from across the room, "Officer Bonds, there's a Detective Hamilton on the phone for you." Oh, that was quick. You use phone? You can't reach the phone from here. All right. Use phone. Positioning is important, I guess. There we go. Use phone. You take the phone in here. Bonds. This is Detective Hamilton. We identified 187 victim in the car as Lonnie West, a local small-time drug dealer. Believe it or not, he's the second small-timer to get his ticket punched in the last 2 weeks. I just wanted you to know about West since you worked the scene, got a rung, got another call waiting. Don't spend the whole day drinking coffee. Bye. Click. All right, that's the end of this. Let's go ahead and save. And we are going to drive around some more. Can we look while we're in the car? I don't know. You patrol the streets near Carol's Caffeine Castle on the famous Wino Willie's beer joint. So we can. That's nice. Let's go ahead and look again. The freeway leaves the city of Lighton here. Well, we're not going quite that far. The Blue Room is in this part of town. The Blue Room is a cop bar over on the left. The Clearwater River borders the eastern edge of this residential area. So obnoxious the way that the speed you drive is inconsistent depending on which direction you're going. North-south is slow, east-west is slightly faster. Did you see that red sports car run the red light? I did. Let's go ahead and save. Wait for them to come down, and then we'll hit our sirens. Not sure exactly why they're not pulling over. There we go. You activate your red emergency lights and observe the sports car pull to the curb and stop. Again, positioning is important while driving. It's very, very fiddly. We did manage to eventually pull them over. Use radio. Dispatch, this is 8332. Run once on Ocean Henry Mary Yellow Mary George. That is their plate. OHMYMG. Dispatch returns with the information you requested. OHMYMG is currently registered at Helen Hotz. No wants. Open door. F4. Close door. Walk on over. Look woman. As you look into the car, you wonder, can this be happening? The young lady has a smile that can melt the polar ice caps. Beautiful flashing eyes, gorgeous hair, and her unbuttoned blouse makes it obvious she has nothing to hide. This is like a weird Leisure Suit Larry moment, and otherwise pretty staid and stowed game. Ask license. In a soft, seductive voice, she murmurs, "Why, officer, I'm just sure I didn't do anything wrong." And again, to actually ask for a license, we have to type ask license. The syntax is a little weird. And without using one of the guides they helpfully sell, it can be difficult to know how to ask people to do things or for things. Helen Hotz, female, 5'2", 105 pounds, black hair, blue eyes, date of birth 2/14/66. 202 Gyrate Court, Lutton, California. Restrictions none. And this is in 87, so she would be 21 years old. Being the veteran you are, you overcome temptation and stare the young lady straight in the eyes. "May I please see your driver's license, ma'am?" She's hopping mad as she yells, "Oh, you cops are all alike. All you care about is making your quotas. Well, come on, snap it up. I'm in a hurry, Mr. Big Shot Traffic Cop." Guys like you make me want to take a big dip of snuff. You never girl a decent girl a break. You just hassle people. And this is just after asking for her license. Right ticket. Politely, you tell her, "You ran a red light back there, miss." "I'm truly sorry, sir. I honestly did not even see that red light. Is there anything I can do to convince you to let me off?" And I do mean anything. And obviously, if you don't play this by the book, it's game over. Return license. Sign ticket. Give ticket. She verbally pounds you again. "Officer, did your mother have any children that lived?" She hands her ticket book back and suggests with a sarcastic smile, "Why don't you shove that pen where the sun don't shine, officer? Mommy and daddy, really?" She replies in a heated voice, "Just remember, fish breath, I'm going to file a complaint on you. I'll cheat, lie, and do anything possible to get your little fuzzbutt in trouble. You hear me?" We will not hear from her again. And where are we? We are up here. Enraged, the young woman shrieks as she drives off. "Your mama wears army boots, you bleephead." And there we go. And we'll go this way. And now we're back to driving around. But hey, we wrote a ticket. We did a cop thing. We avoided the apparently powerful temptation to let someone off with a warning for sexual favors, I guess. I don't know. I'm not a cop in real life. I don't know how big a danger that is. Dispatch squawks, 8332, respond to a complaint at Carol's Caffeine Castle. Well, we were just there, so we just head back. You see that horrible driveway in the upper left? Yeah, we're going to have to drive there at some point. It's going to be awful. There was a car there that we could barely see, but would have absolutely creamed us. Let's go ahead and save. This is not a good place to exit your vehicle. Shoot. It is such a pain. There we go. That was fun. And here we have a bunch of bikes in front of the castle. All right, we're going to get our nightstick. I don't know why it wouldn't let us do it while standing next to the car, but here we go. We're going to grab our nightstick. Get out of the door. Close the door. Save the game. Oops. It's a little funny thing you can do that has no impact on anything. Well, again, we don't have to open the door. Talk Carol. Carol is obviously upset as she blurts out in a loud tone of voice. Oh, Sonny, those drunken bikers in the bar next door are taking up all the parking spaces in front of my cafe. They just have no consideration for others. Where are my customers going to park? Would you ask them to move their motorcycles, please? Great, another chapter in your life of big-time crime stopping, parking space hogging. This is another sequence that requires a bit of timing and could result in a very bad scene if we don't do it well. As he heads for the back room, the bartender mumbles under his breath, "Here comes trouble." The leader of the bunch comes over to you and says, Well, if it ain't the tidy bowl man. What the hell do you want, pig? What do we want? Well, move bikes. How do you plan on making us move our bikes, wimp? Say goodnight, pig. We're going to kick the crap out of you. Use nightstick. You remove your PR-24 and take a defensive stance. The head biker quickly backs down, saying, Excuse us, sir. If you're going to be rough with us, we'll just leave quietly. Because that's how it works. Come on, guys. Let's blow this joint. The local working girl seated at the bar seems to know you. She hops from the stool and shouts, Sonny Bonds, is that you? My hero, boy am I glad you showed up. Those guys had some pretty strange ideas. This is the worst dive in town. Everything that crawls lives here. Look, prostitute, I guess she is. You recognize Sweet Cheeks Marie as an old chum from high school. She obviously failed stewardess school. Talk Marie. What's cooking, good looking? Asks your old friend Sweet Cheeks Marie. It's been too long, Sonny. I haven't seen you around lately. I just know you want something. Ask Marie about... we gotta make it simpler. Ask about drugs. I think that's the case we're on. Obviously, you have come to the right place. Sweet Cheeks Marie spills her guts to you. You know what I heard the other day, says Marie. There's a big dope man trying to take over Lighton. He likes to call himself the Death Angel. I don't know no more about him, but this John was sure a peculiar duck. I only seen him once, and I'm not even sure about his name. I think it was Kaufman or Hoffman or something like that. He's a real spiffy dresser, but the funniest thing, That guy has a sweet little flower tattoo above his left nipple. Kinda cute, really. That's the only real news in town, sweet thing. Alright, so that is the information we get from Marie. In return for the information on Death Angel, you tell Sweet Cheeks of the upcoming undercover crackdown on prostitution called Operation Trick Trap. I gotta say, this is actually remarkably level treatment of sex workers for 1987. So long, sweetie, says Sweet Cheeks Marie. Come see me sometime when we can spend more time, darling. Sure. Believe it or not, that is your love interest in this game. Again, almost progressive in a way compared to a lot of the ways they could have gone with a prostitute in a 1987 police procedural. Open the door, get in the car, close the door. And we're going to get back to driving around. Saving first, because I don't want to do all that again. And you've seen how easy it is to crash and die in this game. And we're just going to be, driving around until we find something else to do. The Lighton Police Department is located here, and that's one of my problems with this game is the pacing. Well, yes, it is realistic that most of a cop's day is just driving around aimlessly. That actually makes a good game, especially when the driving itself is so frustrating and dangerous. And I accidentally crossed the... All right. That guy's driving a little funky. The pink car there? And they hit me with the text box right in the middle of driving, so I may crash here if I don't. Finally, he pulls over. He slowly pulls to the right, jumps the curb, and comes to a stop. After I had to hit my siren and drive back and forth like 5 times before it would register this was happening. Looks like a possible DUI. You radio dispatch. Run check on personalized license plate Programmer 1. It appears to be currently registered. Dispatch returns with Programmer 1 is clear with valid local registration in the name of Art Sarabian. Record checks show 2 prior DUI convictions. Out the door. A 4 closed door. You cautiously approach the vehicle and observe one male seated behind the wheel. Rolling down the window appears to be quite a challenge to him. Look, man. You look into the glassy, watery eyes of a middle-aged man. He is certainly feeling no pain. Talk to, man. You hear a voice that sounds like Tiny Tim singing through a mouthful of crackers. I didn't do nothing wrong, officer. I'm not going to do that voice. That's obnoxious. I didn't do nothing wrong, officer. Show license. The man fumbles with his wallet. My license? Yes, right here it is. Art Sarabian, Male 5'8", 199 pounds, hair none, eye blue, date of birth 12/14/47, 2 McIntosh Street, Lighton, California. Restrictions, programmer. And yes, that does look like Leisure Suit Larry creator Al Lowe. Since the information in the driver's license matches the suspect, you return his license to him. Get out. The gentleman responds to your request. Yes, sir. Give test. You correctly administer the field sobriety test and are amused as your subject gives his best imitation of a young swan attempting its first takeoff. Cuffman. The drunk begs you, could you cuff me in the front, please? I'm not feeling so good. No. Not wanting to take a chance to explain, I'm sorry, sir, but department policy dictates all custody arrests shall be restrained by proper handcuffing procedure, and that means behind your back. And in fact, if you cuff him in the front, he will beat you to death, so we don't want to do that. You place your subject under arrest for the violation of Lytton City Vehicle Code VC 23502, driving while under the influence. Search man. You pat down the gentleman and find no weapons. Follow me. Reluctantly, he says, okay, where are we going? So as not to excite him, you say, oh, we're just going to take a little ride to see some friends of yours. It's okay, buddy, come on. Like the little head bob he's doing. Open door. Wrong door. Open door. Wrong door. Open door. Open door. There you go. Since your suspect can't move through you might consider moving out of the way. Close door. Open door. Close door. Nope. F4 first and then close door. Radio for tow truck. You key the radio, dispatch, this is 8332, request 11185 at my 1020. 8332, 104, 1 tow truck en route. And we are done here. Now we need to take him to jail. Which is, fortunately, right there. Let's go ahead and save. And then, what about my car? Don't worry, it's all towed. It'll be towed somewhere safe at your expense. Okay, that was a blue car we almost hit. I don't even know if you can see it. I can barely see it. But the police, the jail is right here. Look, this is the officer's booking entrance to the Layton City Jail. In the exercise yard, a prisoner dribbles continuously. He also bounces his basketball. Ha ha. Open door. Since your suspect can't go through, you might consider moving out of the way. Yeah, sure. See if you can walk up those stairs without falling down. You order the drunk. Close. What you mean, Ostrifer? I walk like this even when I'm sober. Door. Watch your step, Art. We don't want you falling down the stairs. And you made it all the way up. All right. This is another part that we have to do over and over every time. Open locker. Put gun in locker. And close locker. And we need to do that when we leave. We get it back the same way. And we're going to be here a lot, so get used to it. He pushed the buzzer. The jailer releases the electronic lock. Follow me, you order your prisoner. The jailer greets you with a friendly, well, well, old Bonds is loose again. The jailer says, what can I do for you, Hot Pencil? Drunk, drive in. You remove and inventory the prisoner's personal property, then hand it to the jailer with a booking slip. The jailer takes the prisoner's property, then says, okay, Monty, remove this gentleman's cuffs and place him behind door number 1. You remove the cuffs and place them in your handcuff case. Whew, boy, that feels good, says the drunk. Those cuffs are so tight I thought my hands had fallen off. If he throws up on the floor, the jailer laughs. You're going to clean it up, Bonds. No, I won't. Gee, thanks a lot, officer, says the drunk. I'm so happy I could just... carrot. And we've booked him. Laura enters the jail and says, hey, Sonny, I need to speak with you for a moment. A position has opened in the narcotics division, and according to Lieutenant Morgan, it will be filled by a veteran street cop. If you're interested, submit a memo to Lieutenant Morgan as soon as possible. It would be a great chance for you to get out of that uniform for a while. And there we go. Just as Laura leaves, the jailer yells at you, hey, Hot Pencil, come over here. I just hung up from talking to Dooley, and is he hot? He wants you back at the office on the double. All right, well, that'll give us an opportunity to write that memo. Open locker. Get gun. Close locker. All right, so now we have to head back to the police department, which is not too far away, really. So it's not inconvenient at all. And it's more fun than just idly patrolling until something happens. Exit our car. Am I tired of typing that yet? Yes. A macro or something would have been very helpful, or just not including it as a gameplay element at all. The PR-24 must remain in the vehicle. Oh, right. I still have my nightstick. Well, thank you for reminding me instead of automatically losing the game because I brought it into the police station. Again, I guess the repetition does help if you're an actual trainee cop. Certainly won't forget like I just did. Let's look at the baskets. It's empty. Right. Memo. You write out a request for the transfer to the narcotics division. Put memo in basket. You place your request into the in basket. If that gremlin keeps messing with me, says Sergeant Dooley, I'm going to notify Internal Affairs to start an investigation. When I found out who the little weasel is, says Sergeant Dooley, you better believe that he or she will be walking a footbeat from the river all the way to Joe's junkyard. Okay, good to know. Hey, Sonny, Dooley says he's going to start a big internal affairs investigation just because some fool put a stinking smelly bird on his desk. Good to know. Notice they're all kind of walking with me, which is weird, but... Sonny, you should have seen Sergeant Dooley when he first discovered that chicken. He threw a screaming fit and wanted the lieutenant to dust for prints. You can hardly believe your eyes. A full-grown chicken with its legs tied together is flapping about and clucking raucously right on Sergeant Dooley's desk. Feathers fly everywhere, but that's not the worst. Unfortunately, the chicken has lost control of her bodily functions. Kind of a non sequitur, but this is written from Jim Walls' personal experience of a prankster at his local precinct. Apparently, the mysterious gremlin has struck Sergeant Dooley again. Get feather. Do that in King's Quest 3, another little Easter egg. Sonny, if I find out you are that inconsiderate, worthless gremlin, I'll hang you out to dry. Hey, Sonny, you're off duty, aren't you? Some of us are going by the Blue Room to throw Jack a little surprise party. After you change clothes, why don't you stop by? All right. That is the cop bar. So let's go ahead and change out of our work clothes. Sure would be nice if the city fixed some of these vents in here. It smells like one big cattle yard after every shift change. I'm sure it does. The Layton PD locker room has 2 rows of full-size double-stacked lockers with a bench between them, 2 showers, and 3 toilet stalls. Look, janitor. Say, fool, back out of here just a shade. You getting close enough to dance with Lord only knows I did enough dancing last night. He doesn't clean very well, but he sure cleans slow. Open locker. Change clothes. Regulations require a shower before changing. Okay, who'll know? We're not gonna shower. Get keys. You grab the keys to your vet. Close locker. Turn radio and our squad car key. Again, it's all according to procedure. This down here, the blue Corvette, is our car. It operates just like the police car does, so we have to be careful not to crash and die. All right, the blue room or whatever it's called is, let me check the map. Here it is. And we crashed. There we go. We made it without dying for once. Oh, almost forgot our wallet. You see your friend Jack seated alone at a table. There is a jukebox against the wall to the left. This is the Blue Room, a popular lounge for cops. Behind the bar stands the owner, retired LPD officer Bobby Lopez. Jack speaks. Boy, what a depressing day I've had today, Sonny. Jack speaks in a very depressed voice. Oh, Sonny, I just discovered my daughter is doing drugs. It's really screwed me up. I know she's getting him at school, but I just can't finger the punk who's supplying. My life is going to crap. I can't talk to my daughter. She won't listen to me anymore. My drinking has my marriage on the rocks. My wife's ready to leave me. Everything's a mess. I'll dig his mustache, though. Hey, Keith, you say, how's it going? I guess we're so eager to get away from Jack's depressing stories. Good, Sonny, he replies. Oh my God. Jack is totally surprised as everyone sings happy birthday. Aw. Hoochie Coochie Hannah, our dancer from the local rent-a-gan business, enters the room dressed in a grass skirt and balloons. And here we get her. Jack says, "Oh, no, no, what? Oh." You say, "It's time to stand up and face the music, Jack." Wow. And there she goes, dancing. In her most seductive voice, Hoochie Coochie Hannah whispers, "Here's a little something so you'll have a happy birthday, Jack, baby." She dances right out the door. Keith says, "Well, Jack, you old codger, what did you think of Hoochie Coochie Hannah?" "You know, Keith," Jack answers, "I think I'll ask Santa to put her under my tree this year." "What does that even mean, Jack?" Keith pipes up, "Oh my gosh, Sonny, did you forget? We swapped shifts last week. You're due at the station for swing shift briefing in 15 minutes. And it's back to work. Away from this whole awkward scene. Alright, let's get there before we get fired again. Can I move around, you guy? No? Yeah? Alright. Alright, back to the station. Can you believe that, Morris Fudley? I hid all the soap and he's still in there showering. I wonder if his wife goes to the river to bathe. Regulations require a shower before changing. This is the only regulation in the game you can break without it somehow coming back to kill you. What's that tell you about our cop friend? Get everything, open the case, get all, close case, close locker, and then it's back to the briefing room. And his firm voice, Dooley reminds you, being punctual to briefings might keep some of those corrective memos out of your pigeonhole, Bonds. Now find your seat. Sergeant Dooley says, "Men, we've received information from a day sergeant concerning a missing persons report filed earlier this morning. It seems that a Mexican male, physical description of 5'8", 145 pounds, black hair, brown eyes, by the names of Jose Martinez, was last seen by his wife 2 days ago getting into a late model light blue Cadillac. No one has seen or heard from Martinez since. This person has some previous arrests, including narcotics sales," says Dooley, concluding the briefing. "Be advised, this Cadillac may be the one and the same as the one involved in the recent murder of Lonnie West. We have a partial license plate number of L964. Dooley then proceeds to give everyone their beat assignments for the day, concluding with yours. "Sonny Bonds, your call number will be 8332. Keep it safe out there, boys and girls. I'll take notes. Doesn't really matter what we write because we only do that for the points." Look whole. There are some messages, but they're not for you. You check your pigeonhole and find a sealed envelope. Ripping it open, you read a message from an unknown informant advising you of a illegal high-stakes gambling in the back room of the Hotel Delforia cocktail lounge. You vow to remember the information and discard the envelope and message. Drug traffic must stop. All right, let's get our radio and keys. You pick up a squelchy, noisy, but serviceable extender. Get keys. And back out to our car. I don't think we've looked out here yet, so let's do that first. The parking lot holds 3 patrol cars, an unmarked car, and a shiny, clean Corvette. All right, let's... Again, we have to, every time we come out of the police department, do a walk around of our vehicle to make sure it hasn't spontaneously gained any problems. All right, good. All right, once again, we are back to our driving minigame that is so much fun. Basically until something happens. Dispatch relays 8332, be advised possible stolen vehicle reported in your vicinity. And that turquoise car up at the top is, I believe, it. Vehicle is light blue, late model Cadillac, last seen near Jefferson High, possible drug involvement. Proceed with caution, 10-4. Let's go ahead and save. Hit our sirens. And there we go. Noting your persistence and driving skill, the driver of the Cadillac pulls it over after his attempts to lose you fail. Well, thankfully that didn't take too long. Let's go ahead and save it. All right, look. You notice a nightstick in a holder on the driver's door panel. Okay, that's in our car, but what about this car? Call for backup, first of all. You nervously key your radio. Dispatch, this is 8332, requesting backup, code 3. Dispatch responds, be advised, 8331 is responding, code 3 to your location. All right, let's go ahead and save because it is very possible to screw this up and get shot. As we'll wait for our backup. And again, waiting is waiting. Waiting in real time. Officer Jack Cobb arrives on the scene. Cobb radios dispatch. Dispatch, be advised, hold all radio traffic until code 4 confirmed. Dispatch responds, affirmative. 8332, this is 8331. Sonny, I'll cover you from the passenger side of your patrol car while you make contact with the suspect. 8331 out. And there he goes. Let's go ahead and load our gun. Okay. Get out of the car. And then load gun. You rip out the speed loader and load your weapon. Draw a gun. There we go. Get out of car with hands up. Reorder. The suspect falters for a moment, then slowly raises his hands. He realizes he does not have a chance and follows your order. It's very possible during this to get shot even as Jack here shoots him, which is still, you lose the game because you're dead. So we got to be careful here. Lie down. Okay, I'm lying down. Put gun away. Jack says, I got him covered, Sonny. Go ahead and cuff him. You apprehensively approach the suspect, sensing his desperation. Cuff, man. Shut up. You know what I mean. You feel relief as you close the handcuffs around his wrists. Search, man. You're not close enough. Okay, fine. Search man. You search the suspect and find only pocket change, plus a loaded Smith & Wesson 45 caliber semi-automatic handgun. The suspect pipes up, "Honest, officer, I only carry that for self-defense on the freeways." Sure you do. "Quiet down," you order him. "Hey, Jack," you yell to your backup, "how's about booking this evidence?" "Okay," Jack replies. Stand. Read rights. The suspect cuts you out short as he says, "I know my rights, you jackass." To be safe, you read him his rights anyway. Carefully, you admonish the suspect of his Miranda rights. You have the right to remain silent. What you say may be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed to represent you before questioning if you wish. Follow me. You order the suspect into your patrol car. He submits with a sarcastic, "All right." Open door. The front door. Okay, closed door. Open door. Wrong one. Open door. Closed door. Closed door. "Good job, Sonny," says Jack. "I'll call dispatch and put out a code 4. You carefully handle the gun so as not to smudge any possible fingerprints. "Hey, Jack, you shot. Book this gun." There we go. Look license plate. Look license plate. The license plate is UL6942. You remember the partial plate seen by the witness to the Lonnie West murder was L964. You may have found your man. Open trunk. Look in trunk. You open the trunk and discover a clear plastic bag containing a white powder substance resembling cocaine and another clear plastic bag containing a green leafy substance resembling marijuana. Close trunk. As you start to examine the evidence, you hear Jack's voice behind you. "Just leave that stuff in the trunk, Sonny. I'll impound it along with the car." "Okay, Jack," you say. "See you back at the station." Look door. "Say, the door jamb of the suspect's vehicle is black instead of light blue." A closer examination of the door jamb reveals the vehicle's VIN plate. A quick rub with your thumb uncovers its numbers, CO3456218, which is from our earlier briefing. Open compartment. That's the glove compartment. Look. You observe a black notebook and 2 driver's licenses. Read book. You open the notebook. $2,000, collect RG, set up HD gambling, blackjack, initiate plan for dealer RO, meet JL and JM and LW, send $100, ammo, meet Northwest Boss, 3 o'clock lunch with Robert G, discipline pimp 1, discipline pimp 2, terminate LW, terminate JM, already done. And then Sunday, poker with JB, evaluation of drug saturation plan, gotta maximize that synergy, cash profit total, phone East Coast, beat Gutless Wonder, initiate plan 3. And then that seems to be quite a bit of incrimination here. You leave the suspect's black book undisturbed to be impounded with the car. Look licenses. Marvin Hoffman and Leroy Peterson. Looks like the same guy, one with a mustache and one without. Close compartment. Your partner will impound these items into evidence along with the car. Open door. F4. Closed door. Well, we managed to catch the guy without getting shot. Now for the more dangerous process of trying to make it all the way to the jail without crashing. We are between two cars, so we have to kind of... There we go. If anything happens to my car, I'll have my lawyer on you so fast he'll keep it back down there, slime ball. Jack comes on the radio. Dispatch, this is 8331, confirming code 4 on felony sauce. Stop, 1 in custody, 8332 proceeding to jail, request tow truck location. Dispatch response, affirmative 8331, code 4, tow truck en route. All right, let's go back to the jail. Fortunately, it's like right down the street. Get up those stairs, dog meat. The world would be a lot better off without cops like you. Shut up and keep moving, Hoffman. I guess this is your big day for the... I guess this is your big bust for the day, huh, pig? Seeing you in cuffs gives me a natural high, punk. You're gonna find out this was a big waste of your time and mine. Open locker. Put gun in locker. Close locker. Push button. You push the buzzer, the jailer releases the electronic lock. Follow me, you order your prisoner. The jailer greets you with a friendly, well, well, old Bonds is loose again. My goodness gracious, says the jailer, here stands Bonds again on behalf of the people. This is one bad dude, says the jailer. What are you booking him for, Sherlock? Drugs. The jailer responds, okay, drugs will do. Fill out the booking slip and give me his property. What's your name? The jailer asks your prisoner. The name's Marvin Hoffman, you scumbag, he responds, and that's all you're getting out of me. Deep down, you know this sleazebag is not the man he claims he is. You book him as Marvin Hoffman anyway, hoping his numerous felony charges will keep him in the slammer long enough for you to ascertain his true identity. Or rather, the detective assigned to his case. You hand to the jailer the booking slip and the suspect's property. Okay, Bonds, the jailer says, you can remove his cuffs and place Mr. So-called Marvin Hoffman into cell number 1. Remove cuffs. You remove the cuffs and place them in your handcuff case. Your penthouse awaits you, Hoffman. Shove it, pig. Your little meter maids can't keep me in here, he shouts. Hoffman yells, I'll be out of this tank before you finish your coffee break. Jack says, well, I see you got that slimeball pusher booked. The car is tucked away and all the evidence is booked. This is one clean bust, my boy. I received a call from dispatch on the way over here. Dooley wants to see you in his office when you are done here. Says my shift is over. I'll see you back at the station. And here we go. Back to the locker. Hello, Sonny. I have a memo here concerning you. Let me read it to you. As Sergeant Dooley starts to read, his eyes begin to sting and water profusely. Sergeant Dooley races for the bathroom, cursing a gremlin for spraying the memo with mace. On his way out, Dooley yells, "Read the memo yourself, Sonny, if you can." From the hallway comes uncontrolled laughter as Dooley declares, "When I find who that gremlin is, I swear I'll kill him." Now who's Dooley? Interdepartmental memo from Lieutenant James Morgan, Narcotics. Officer Bond's request for a temporary transfer to the Narcotics Department has been approved. Bonds is to report to my office ASAP in suitable street clothes. All right, so we got our I guess it's a promotion. Let's go ahead and change into our street clothes. Hello, Sonny. Please step over here to my desk. Lieutenant Morgan welcomes you to the Narcotics Division and expresses the necessity of your new image. Sonny, I've decided to put you on the Hoffman case due to your involvement with the arrest. Your partner will be Detective Laura Watts. You can join Laura in her office. Good luck on the case and welcome aboard, Sonny. Let's look around first. This is Lieutenant Morgan's office. Look, map. You're not close enough. Let's check out this map. Look, map. Oh, that's helpful. All right, narcotics office is right over here. Welcome to the Narcotics Division, Sonny, says Laura. I'm pleased you were selected for the position. Allow me to show you around. This file cabinet contains all of our active narcotic cases, including Hoffman's file. Walk this way. No, this way. This keyboard contains keys to the unmarked cards that are assigned to the Narcotics Division. I've been meaning to update that clipboard hanging there. By the way, our radio call number is 83 Nora 12. This will be your desk, Laura continues. Since you have your own desk now, your pigeonhole will be assigned to someone else. Sonny, Laura says earnestly, I attended Hoffman's arraignment early this morning. He's being represented by some out-of-town hotshot lawyer. The jerk has convinced Judge Palmer that Hoffman is who he says he is, and that's not the worst of it. Judge Palmer set Hoffman's bail at only $500,000. We've got to show cause to justify a no-bail warrant. If Hoffman gets out on bail, we'll never see his ugly face again. So that's our next step, is finding the evidence to prove that Hoffman is indeed Hoffman. Sonny, I have a meeting right now and I can't stay. Hoffman's your baby now and time is running out. I hope you can discover some information that will convince Judge Palmer to hold him without bail. Let's go ahead and check out his file. Read Hoffman file. Marvin Hoffman, alias Leroy Pearson. Physical, 5'11", 195, black-brown, Caucasian. Identifying scars, tattoos, etc. Tattoo, small flower above left nipple, just like what Sweet Cheeks Marie was telling us. Suspicion of murder, auto theft, narcotics possession, evading arrest, concealed weapon, reckless driving. 2 licenses. Observed without front license plate, rear plate near match with suspicious vehicle, suspect attempted to evade arrest, initiated pursuit, felony stop, suspect in custody, narcotics seized, stolen vehicle recovered, vehicle turned over to Narcotics Division. 5 pounds of marijuana, estimated value $4,000. Well, it was 1987. 1 pound of cocaine, 250,000. 1 Smith & Wesson .45 handgun, and 1 black notebook. Let's write down that serial number for later. 83 Cadillac, blue, originally blue. I thought it was originally black, so maybe that's a bug or a typo. And there's the two IDs, and that's it. Okay, we'll want this folder for evidence. Grand Theft Auto, the Coupe de Ville, the Yamaha, motorcycle, burglary, Remington rifle, ladies' silk panties stolen from Fancy Pants Lingerie Emporium, hot hog and dog food, 9 large-mouthed belly-bustin' stink baits, wedding rings, then look out for a dog, Buffy the consumer. And this looks like a lot like Hoffman. Yep, Jason Tesselli, known to use the last names Harrison Hoffman. Let's take FBI list. Aha, tattoo of flower above left nipple. You take the FBI wanted poster showing knowing Judge Palmer will find it very interesting. All right. Drop it. Clipboard. I guess she just mysteriously vanished. All right, let's go out to our car. Oh, let's get our keys first for the undercover vehicle. Almost forgot that. Get keys. Look. Ah, the narcotics office where the undercover cops roam. There are 2 desks, a filing cabinet, and a bookcase in the far right corner. All right, now that we have our keys, we can get in the undercover car. Before we do, though, we need to do a walk around so we don't get a flat and kill ourselves. Almost forgot, that would have been a pain. There we go. And there we are. See, we are the plain white car in the lot, and we look like a lot of other plain white cars, so it'll be a little more difficult to kind of keep an eye on what's going on. And it'll be difficult to get out of the police station as we are parked all the way in the back now, and we don't drive very well. But we have to go to the courthouse now with our proof of who Hoffman really is. There we go. Barely made it out. Let me save it. Fortunately, the courthouse is just down there. And we crashed. How do you do, sir? May I help you? Emergency. Please wait a moment. I'll send a message with the bailiff. Can't just go in, gotta wait for them to let me in. And this is another waiting period. This is the outer reception room of the courthouse. The court clerk's office is behind the glass window to the right. The courtroom is through the double doors. The bailiff says Judge Palmer will see you if you can make it quick. Go on to the courtroom. Only one of the doors actually opens. Judge Palmer strikes the gavel. Silence. I will consider Mr. Bond's request. Mr. Bonds, you may approach the bench. Mr. Bonds, who or what is this warrant for? Says the judge. Hoffman. And what information do you have to substantiate the validity of a warrant? Well, I've got this file. All right, do you have any other information? Got the poster. Judge Palmer motions the bailiff to retrieve the evidence. You hand the evidence to the bailiff. And again, it's very procedural, very step-by-step. It's very slow. Your heart races as Judge Palmer evaluates the evidence. Do you think to yourself, this punk cannot go free? Judge Palmer scans the items presented and questions. What makes you think these two men are the same person, Mr. Bonds? Tattoo. The bailiff and court reporter squirm and choke, trying to conceal their laughter while you quietly tell the judge your tale of tattoos and nipples. The judge attempts to stifle her giggles, but fails. Judge Palmer whispers softly to you, Well, Mr. Bonds, it appears your friend has his tit caught in the ringer. Is that an expression? I don't know. Stifling her laughter, Judge Palmer says, Congratulations, Mr. Bonds, your request is granted. Here is a no-bail warrant issued in the name of Jason Tiselli, alias Marvin Hoffman. Bailiff, deliver this to Mr. Bonds and escort him out. And now we have to wait for the bailiff to come back. You can't just slide it across the desk. Come on. Here you are, Mr. Bonds. I hope you are not too late. Tiselli's attorney is at the jail at the very moment attempting his release. And so we go back out to the car. Open door. 4. Close door. And then drive. And we just got to go over to the jail. Open locker. Put gun in locker. Close locker. All the procedures. Hey, Sonny, come over here, says the jailer. I have something to tell you. Hey, Sonny, come over here, says the jailer. I have something to tell you. The jailer seethes. I hope you know, Bonds, at this very moment Hoffman's lawyer is in the front reception area bailing that worm out. Give warrant. You hand the jailer the no-bail warrant just in time to keep Mr. Tiselli from returning to the streets. Oh, man, this is great, Sonny, the jailer laughs. I hope you know this will slam the old boy's orifice shut. I'll be right back. This is going to blow his attorney's mind. And we wait. Boy, that made my day, Sonny. You should have seen the guy. He started ranting and raving just like a little kid who had his lollipop taken away. Open locker. Get gun. Close locker. Again and again and again and again and again. Open the door. F4, close door. And let's head back to the station. It looks like Laura is waiting for you. You wonder what's up. Sonny, one of my informants, just told me a drug dealer is going down soon in Lytton City Park, says Laura, getting into your car. Lieutenant Morgan wants us to stake it out and see what we can do. All right. Check our map. Well, cowboy, let's roll. Checking our map, the park is over at B1. If we can get there without crashing. All right, there's the park. I'm getting there. This is going to be a pain, especially because I'm not sure which white car I am. There we go. And we crashed. Let's try that again. Made it that time. And we are heading into the park while Laura waits in the car. The beautiful park is caressed by a gentle breeze. Well, we are going to go hide behind these bushes. You can see yourself in the bushes, but with a clear view of the table. You key or extend her to notify Detective Watts that you're in a concealed position. She responds to your transmission. 10-4 will maintain radio silence until I hear from you. You rip out your speed loader and load your weapon. And we are ready to go. And this is another kind of longish period to wait. Finally, you quietly watch a man enter the picnic area. He cautiously nears the picnic table. Go ahead and save. And we wait. Maybe he's just here for a picnic. We don't know. Oh, a second guy. Another figure carefully approaches the picnic table. Could it be the drug contact? Or are they simply dogging? Psst, Vic, were you followed? No way, man. It's cool. I got the stuff. Did you bring the cash? Yeah, right here. One suspect hands what appears to be an envelope to the other suspect. It's radio dispatch. We don't have to hit it yet. We can just type in the command for if things do go down. The second suspect returns a small plastic bag containing a white substance. Hey, butt breath, this ain't enough. Where's the rest? As they argue, you realize the pusher is dissatisfied with the contents of the envelope. You quietly radio Laura. I'm moving in. You hook up anybody trying to take the foot bail. Trying to take the foot bail, huh? That's what we're saying? All right. Halt, police. Halt, you shout, police officer. Jiggers, the fuzz, shouts the pusher. I'm out of here. Don't shoot, officer, shouts the young man. I give up. There I am walking. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. Put gun away. Cuff man. You cuff one trembling suspect. Read rights. Carefully, you admonish your suspect of his Miranda rights. You have the right to remain silent. You have the right to... What you say may be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed to represent you before questioning if you wish. Follow me. You follow Sims to the patrol car. Laura asks, "What took you so long, Hot Rod? I picked up this loose end trying to take foot bail on you." Again, I don't like how that sounds. I don't think that's a real expression. You mumble under your breath, "Yeah, sure, Laura. You probably just grabbed the first white male you could find." Me, 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 me. What does that even mean? Is there some tension between us and our partner that hasn't been stated until now? I don't get it, man. Feels unearned. All right, let's search. You search the trembling youngster. The search reveals an identification card and a small bag containing a white powdery substance. The content of the bag appears to be cocaine. The Jefferson High School student identification card in the name of Victor Sims matches the general description of your suspect. Laura searches her suspect. She finds a gun, an envelope of money, and little else. Christian Sims. Sims is reluctant but cooperative. You learn he has been selling to kids at Jefferson High School, including Officer Cobb's daughter, Kathy. "I used to buy from a guy named Jose Martinez, but then Martinez introduced me to Don Colby here," Sims says. "I haven't seen Martinez yet." Question Colby. Colby refuses to answer any questions. What if we try a second time? After persistent questioning of Colby, you discover he buys his drugs from Leroy Pearson. He says Leroy's telephone number is 555-6537. Let me write that down. He also asks that his cooperation be noted for consideration by the court. Sorry, Colby, that is out of scope for this game. Open door. Closed door. Laura comments, "Lieutenant Morgan will be really happy with this bust." Open door. F4, closed door. That is, if we can get there without crashing. Laura says, "Get the door, Sonny. I'll keep an eye on these boys." Put gun in locker. Close locker. Push button. Slam dunk Donnie yells through the fence, "Hey baby, you boys play basketball?" "Sonny," says Laura, "I'll wait here while you complete booking." The jailer greets you with a friendly, "If you're selling any tickets, I don't need any." The jailer says, "This is certainly a fine-looking group you got this time, Sonny." Drugs. "Okay, drugs it will be," the jailer says. "Fill out this booking slip and give me his property." You to remove, inventory, and deliver the prisoner's personal property to the jailer along with the booking slip. The jailer says, "Okay, Sonny, remove their cuffs and put the little prisoners into cell number 1. Remove cuffs. You remove the cuffs and place them in your handcuff case. I feel like this isn't specified. I feel like this isn't modified for having 2 prisoners at all. I'm gonna sue you for making them cuffs so tight, Flatfoot," threatens your prisoner. "Which one?" Hard to say. "I think you boys know where to go," you tell him. "Right to hell." "Up yours, Dick Tracy. You'll never make this stick." Hey, Bonzi, Laura, all waiting for you in the car. All right, let's get out of here. Open locker. Get gun. Close locker. Let's get back to the car. I don't know if the game is actually slow or if it just feels that way because of all the repetition. Looks like you'll be a valued addition to narcotics, Bond, says Laura. Laura says, Sonny, I'll go write up this arrest. I'll bet Jack is over at the Blue Room. Why don't you go tell him we nailed the rat who was dealing dope at Jefferson High? All right. Oh, it's this way, right? The problem is the speed changes when you go from horizontal to vertical or diagonal, and it always throws me off just enough to make me crash. Another little frustration in this game. You enter the Blue Room and see Jack seated at a table. He appears to be quite intoxicated. Trying to cheer Jack, you tell him about the Victor Sims arrest and how he was responsible for selling dope at the high school. Sonny, I really do appreciate you nailing that filthy scumbag pusher, but I'm afraid it might be too late. My daughter Kathy is in the intensive care ward over at Layton General Hospital, he explains. She is in a coma from a drug OD. There's nothing I can do. Oh, that's awkward. Oh, Sonny, there's nothing anyone can do. The bartender says, For your information, Sonny, I have a cab on the way for Jack. I sure would love to stretch the neck of that sorry dope-pushing sucker that hurt my little girl. We just sit here awkwardly till the cab shows up. The cab driver shouts out, Hey, who called for the taxi? That's it for me, Sonny. I'll see you later. The cabbie says, Right this way, buddy boy, and don't fall down. Whew, man, is this boy in bad shape? He certainly is, but I love your mustache. I'm sorry to have to tell you this, Sonny, says Keith, but I have some bad news for you. Lieutenant Morgan sent me over here to advise you that your boy, Taselli, has escaped from jail. Taselli jumped a guard, then made it to the exercise yard, where he escaped by climbing over the fence. There's a citywide dragnet out in him right now. Morgan wants to see you back in his office ASAP. See you later, Sonny. I got business to take care of. All right. Can I stand yet? Okay, good. Didn't let me leave. Those pauses between beats, just a little too long, made me think I could get up and leave before I could. So overall, it's just another pacing issue with the game. Now we go back to the police station. This is the third time I've been back. without being able to get out of my car before something happened. Which is good, because that way I don't have to waste time coming in and then doing the car inspection and everything again. Just jumps right to the next story point. But then there's these moments where it's like, yeah, well, you just gotta do things. I know you worked hard trying to keep that punk Hoffman in jail. What a shame it was all for naught. It's frustrating when a man does the best job he can do and some dummy screws it up. I wouldn't trust that tower guard to guard our water fountain. After reviewing the Hoffman file, I think we should take a close look at the black book that was impounded along with his Cadillac. Get it from Russ in the evidence lockup. Check it out, then get back to me. I may have some other leads to investigate. When we next meet, I may have some new ideas. All right. Let's go talk to Russ. Russ says, "What can I do for you, flyboy? Am I a pilot now? I don't understand." Black book. Now, Sonny, you know this is an official evidence. Don't go running off with it. All right, so we look at this again. Drop. Book. After browsing through the suspect's personal address book, you return it to evidence. Gun. This is don't go running off with it. And here we have it tagged with the serial number. So let's go ahead and write that down. I think we already wrote this down. Drop gun. After careful examination of the weapon, you return it to evidence. And let's go ahead and check out the computer. In the computer room, look at this state-of-the-art machine. This is LPD's computer room, complete with an outdated terminal just packed with valuable information. Look, computer. You're not close enough. All right, now. Look, computer. It works much more slowly when it's off. Turn on computer. Layton Police Department online database. Good morning. Enter search string. It's very Apple II coded. Or I guess it could be a TRS-80. All right, search string. Let's look for the serial number of the gun. Well, we wrote it down, so it's SW976. Oh, 4912. 45 caliber automatic handgun reported stolen from Chicago. Well, that fits. Contacted Detective Tabor at CPD 312-555-3382. Let's write that number down. Then exit. Go back to our office. Use our fancy office phone. 555-4522. We are Bonds. Hello, Sonny. What can I do for you? What do you got on Taselli? Yes, the prints on the gun match that Hoffman Taselli fellow. I hear he escaped. Bye now. Click. That was helpful. Use phone. We'll call the Chicago number. I can tell because of the area code. 553382. Chicago PD, Detective Tabor speaking. How may I help you? Taselli. Detective Tabor says, "Oh, yes, we know your man, Jason Taselli, alias Hoffman, alias Pearson. He's linked to a big-time card shark and drug runner named Jesse Baines." Both have dropped from sight in our area. I'll send you a mugshot of this guy Baines. Good luck. Click. All right, let's leave. Sometimes we can leave and come back to trigger something. Sonny, says Laura, just after you left, a hooker by the name of Sweet Cheeks Marie, who called you Precious, called from jail and said she needs to see you as soon as possible. But before you go to the jail, Morgan wants to see you. All right, well, let's go talk to Morgan first, and then we'll see our prostitute friend. It's good to see you, Sonny. Come over to my desk. Hello, Sonny. I hear your little sweetheart is in the can. Sonny, I think your friend Sweet Cheeks may be able to help us out. It seems our drug problem is emanating from the Hotel Delphoria, which we ran into a rumor about earlier when someone put a anonymous note in our pigeonhole. In lieu of her current state of affairs, I bet Sweet Cheeks would be willing to help you establish your cover at the hotel. She probably would anyway. She's go over to the jail and see if she'll help you with the hotel operation. When you get back, I'll hold a briefing on the operation. I'll call the jail and arrange everything for you. All right, here we go. Getting closer to the end game, which is good because we've been playing this I've been playing it for 2.5 hours and my voice is getting a little sore. But that's just one of the dangers of the game here. Before we leave, let me look up I guess he left. I just need to see his phone number, though. 555-6674. Okay, let's write that down. All right, now that we did that, we can do our spot check of our vehicle so we don't suddenly develop a flat tire that wasn't there before. Open door. Close door. And drive. To the police station. Well, it's about time, Bonds, exclaims the jailer. That gal in cell 1 has been whining like a lonely puppy for you. Do your best to calm that girl down, will you, Sonny? I don't get paid enough to listen to that crap. As you approach cell 1, Sweet Cheek spots you and says, Oh, Precious, I'm so happy to see you. Please come here and talk to me. I need your help, Sonny. I'm sorry, Sonny, but I got picked up by Operation Trick Trap. I know you warned me, but I thought the operation was over. It hasn't even been a day. I'll do anything to get out. Oh, Sonny, if only I had someone like you to call my own. Mwah, 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 kissing through the jail bars. Wow, Sweet Lips, you exclaim. That was hot. Was that hot or what? I'm sorry, Precious, I just couldn't resist you. Oh, please get me out of this place. Help with operation. Oh, Sonny, I'll help you do anything. Thank you so much. Oh, please tell me what to do. Embarrassed, you feel as though all the blood in your body has rushed to your face. You explain the arrangements of Sweet Cheeks' immediate release to her. Sweet Cheeks, as soon as you're released, I want you to go to the police station for a meeting with Lieutenant Morgan. No, I won't give you a lift. Hey, Sonny, says the jailer in a loud voice. You've been messing with my female prisoners, or did you just start wearing lipstick today? Lieutenant Morgan just called. He is standing over a car for Sweet Cheeks. All right, so I guess I don't need to give her a lift. Before we head back to the station, we're going to drive around a little because we're going to get a call for something sooner or later. Your radio crackles. 83 Nora 10, respond to Cotton Cove. Officer on scene, need ID of 187 victim. So we've got a murder in Cotton Cove, which is right down here. We can tell because there are a few squad cars. Good to see you, Sonny, he says. We've got a ripe one here. No ID. Is this the dude you arrested? Since you're the guy who booked him, we hope you can identify him. You lift the white blanket and examine the swollen body. It resembles Jason Taselli, however, you can't be sure. Now let's look at his shirt. Remove his shirt to see if he has the tattoo. The soggy shirt peels slowly from his chest. Above his left nipple, you spot the flower tattoo, which confirms your identification. Cover body. Radio dispatch. You key the radio. Dispatch, this is 83 Nora 10. Report positive ID on body of 1 Jason Taselli, 810-8 Cotton Cove. Your radio crackles. 10-4, 83 Nora 10. Dispatch copies 1022 APB Jason Taselli. Thanks, Sonny. Be advised, coroner is en route. 1019 per Lieutenant Morgan. That means come on back. Why are you following me, dude? Sonny, step on over to my desk. I have devised a plan to infiltrate the gambling scene at the Hotel Delforia, Lieutenant Morgan begins. Sonny, I want you to check into the hotel under the name of Jimmy Lee Bankston. He continues, meet Sweet Cheeks in the hotel cocktail lounge. Signal Sweet Cheeks that you're ready to begin the operation by ordering a drink. She'll pretend to recognize you as Whitey, an old friend recently released from prison. She'll introduce you to bartender Woody Roberts, whom we believe is the contact man for the backroom hustle. You'll be carrying a large sum of money in marked bills, of course, and will pretend to be eager for action. Lieutenant Morgan concludes, since Laura developed your disguise, I'll let her fill you on the details. Sonny, I've picked out a white suit for you, Laura says, and by the way, we've decided your hair must be bleached. You'll walk with the aid of the special cane. Its handle is really detachable. A 22 caliber Magnum Derringer. When the need arises, you will carry a voice transmitter disguised as a plain-looking ballpoint pen. Laura adds, I picked up these supplies at the beauty shop. Take this bottle of bleach cream activator into the shower and bleach your hair. That's all I have, concludes Laura. Sweet Cheeks, do you have anything to add? In an excited voice, Sweet Cheeks says, Oh, Sonny, I'm so happy to get to work with you. Why, it almost brings a tear to my eye. I'm looking forward to spending the night with you at the Hotel Delforia, my precious. She winks at you. Sweet Cheeks, says Lieutenant Morgan, why don't you head on over to the hotel? Sonny will follow shortly. Thanks for your help, Laura. Morgan says that's all for now. Lieutenant Morgan instructs you, Sonny, after you bleach your hair and change clothes, report back to me. I have more instructions for you. All right. Sergeant Dooley, his voice cracking, interrupts the meeting. It is my regretful duty to inform you that I've just received a phone call from Jack Cobb. His daughter, Kathy, just died without ever regaining consciousness. Effective immediately, Jack is on extended family leave. Jack's taking this really hard. His brother is staying with him and he requests no visitors. I'm sure our sympathy goes out to Jack in this time of need. Bummer. Hatred wells up inside you. You vow revenge for Kathy's senseless death by tracking down the Dope World animals responsible. Dope World. Lieutenant Morgan speaks softly. Sonny, the sooner you get into the scene at Hotel Dephoria, the sooner we can neutralize these bloodsuckers. All right, let's go bleach our hair. But first, use phone. Come on. Use phone 555-2622. Cobb residence. You offer your condolences to the Cobb family. Thank you so much, Sonny. Hello, Sonny. Laura Watts greets you. Lieutenant Morgan is waiting for you. You'd better change and get over there. Oh, yeah, but I had to call and, offer my condolences for a couple of points. We're at 211 out of 245 now. Open locker. We get towel. We can't get away without showering this time. Close locker. You see, we threw our towel over the shower wall there. Turn on shower. Use bleach. You carefully pour the bleach on your hair. Now what? Rinse hair. Good idea. With great anticipation, you carefully rinse the bleach from your hair. Turn off shower. At last, you'll find out if blondes really have more fun. Open locker. Get suit. Close locker. How wonderful. 15 years of service has come to this, wearing a pimp suit to meet a hooker. Now that's professional advancement. Wouldn't your mommy be proud? I like our little cane here. I guess this is a pimp suit. She dressed like this the whole game. Woo-wee, look at what we got here, laughs Jefferson. He's just jealous. I like our little jaunt, our swagger. Just gonna walk around her a while like this. You return your radio extender to the recharger. And let's join Morgan in his office so we can check out my new threads. After you infiltrate the illegal gambling activities of the hotel, contact me. I'll send over a team of detectives to serve as your backups. All right, sounds great. And we did get your number earlier. This envelope contains $1,000 in marked $100 bills. Excellent. Use your head, Sonny, and don't forget, we want Mr. Big. Just then, the officer intercom squelches. Lieutenant Morgan, homicide detective Oscar Hamilton on line 3. You patiently wait while Morgan grumbles on the phone. When the conversation ends, Morgan relates Hamilton's comments on the floater found this morning at Cotton Cove. Sonny, it seems that Hoffman Taselli was shot execution style before he decided to take his little swim. It looks like you're walking right into the dragon's lair at the Hotel Delphoria. Be careful, boy. Well, that's it here, Morgan says. Now go meet Sweet Cheeks and get this campaign rolling. Well, Dragon's Lair is a completely different game by a completely different company. Even pimps gotta check out their cars before they go rolling. And you can guess where it is. It's the place with the horrible driveway that we have to try to drive down. We made it. First time that time. That was probably the most difficult part of the game right there. That's right. This is the lobby of the Hotel Delphoria. It is decorated in the style of the area in which it was constructed. Its prime days long gone. There's a desk to the east and an elevator to the north. Good day, sir, says the desk clerk in his best plastic voice. How may I help you? Rent room. We have a vacancy in room 204 on the second floor. All our rooms are very clean and nicely furnished with telephones and queen-sized beds, says the desk clerk. That will be $100, please, which is a pretty good rate, I guess, for a hotel like this. Pay clerk. You hand the clerk $100. He asks to fill out the registration card. You do under the name of Jimmy Lee Bankston. Thank you very much, sir. Here are your keys. I hope you enjoy your stay. After you fill out the register, the desk clerk says, just take the elevator to the second floor. Your room is to the right. This whole sequence here reminds me a lot of Leisure Suit Larry, one of the last games we had played previously. What'll it be? Give me a beer. Coming right up. Sweet Cheeks pretends she has just noticed you. Whitey, is that you? She shouts. Oh, Whitey, it's so good to see you, says Sweet Cheeks, playing her role to the hilt. It's been such a long, long time. Come on, Cheeks, you say, let's sit at the table over there. And we wait. Pacing. Here you are, sir, says the bartender. That'll be $5, please. Pay bartender. You slipped a marked 100 from your wallet and hand it to the bartender. Thank you, sir, he says. I'll be right back with your change. You know, Sonny, says Sweet Cheeks softly, I've seen 4 guys through that door since I got here. Here's your change, sir. Well, how about it, Sweet Cheeks? The bartender says. Are you going to introduce me to your new friend? Woody, I'd like you to meet Jimmy Lee Bankston, but everyone I know calls him Whitey, Sweet Cheeks says. Whitey's a dear old friend that I haven't seen for over a year. She then excuses herself to powder her already heavily powdered nose. I don't know if that's a cocaine reference. Could be. The bartender asks you what you do for a living. I'm presently unemployed, just taking it easy, enjoying life, you say, and looking out for a good time, you tell him. I just finished doing a little time for embezzlement and haven't had a chance to land a job yet, you tell Woody. Acting surprised at your slip, you lower your voice and say, well, I'd sure appreciate you keeping that information under your hat, okay? Woody assures you that you can trust him. We are brilliant actors, me and Sweet Cheeks. Sweet Cheeks returns, even after the drinks and your conversation with the bartender. Woody Roberts is tight-lipped about any backroom gambling. Say, Sweet Cheeks, you say loudly, how'd you like to go to Vegas with me for the weekend? Sweet Cheeks acts quite excited as she accepts your offer. I don't think it's an act. I think she's just an excitable person. Just before leaving the cocktail lounge, you ask Sweet Cheeks to remain at the table while you try to get Woody to open up. What'll it be? Give bartender money. You slip the bartender a 20, and then it happens. In a suddenly soft voice, the bartender asks, Whitey, exactly what are you looking for in the way of a good time? Just about anything, you tell him, but women, gambling, and money top the list. Well, Whitey, Woodley whispers, there is a little card game in our back room that is available by invitation only. It's pretty serious. It'll cost you $200 just to get into the game. He continues, if you think you can handle it, come back a little later with the $200 and I'll see what I can do for you. With your heart pounding, you offer him your thanks and assure him you'll be right back after you finish with Sweet Cheeks. And now she's following us. I just like pimp walking around with my little cane here. And up we go. We were in 204, I believe. And again, I think this is the part that reminds me the most of the Leisure Suit Larry hotel casino sequence. Because it is a hotel casino sequence. You observe a spacious, nicely furnished one-room apartment. Did you get anywhere with the bartender, Precious? Let's ignore her. And call Morgan first. Lieutenant Morgan, who's speaking, please? Bonds. Hello, Mr. Bankston. Why don't you send Sweet Chicks Marie back to the station by cab? Try to get behind the scenes in the hotel. Your backup personnel will be arriving later this evening. Good luck. All right. So we'll use the phone. 555-9222 to call the cab. Lighten Cab Company, where's the pickup? Hotel. Even this feels very similar to Leisure Suit Larry. You instruct Sweet Cheeks to catch a cab and go to the police station. And she leaves. Let's go back down to the bar, now that she is safe and our backup is on its way, eventually. So you want to try your luck, says Woody. Come on, Whitey, follow me. How'd you get ahead of me? Woody raps a staccato rhythm on the door. A panel on the door slides open. Woody whispers through the opening, I've got a new player for you. You surmise by the stacked boxes that this is a storage room. Come over here, says Woody. I have to frisk you before you can go in. We don't want no trouble around here. Woody tells you, okay, Whitey, have a good time. You see some unfamiliar men playing cards. Good evening, gentlemen, you say to the men at the table. I'm Jimmy Lee Bankston. May I join you? Yes, you may, Mr. Bankston, says the man across the table. Have a seat. Which is good because there's no other open tables. I'm Otto, and to your left is Gene. Glad to meet you, you respond. Otto introduces you to the newcomer. Frank, this is Mr. Jimmy Lee Bankston. He's going to join us for a few hands. Mr. Bankston, meet Frank. Pleased to meet you, Mr. Bankston, says the newcomer. Let's play poker. All right, so we are going to have to play poker until we win a lot of money, basically. And the way we do that is save scumming, essentially. This is a terrible hand. Well, we got a pair of sevens, so it's not too bad, but it's not great. We'll just throw one. We lost that one. But we can go ahead, save now, and go ahead and deal. And just, yeah, this is going to take a while, so I'm going to speed it up for you guys. But basically my strategy here is to bet as much as possible each hand, and if I lose, just try again. Just reload. All right. Finally, we've made 1,000 chips, and that means we win. We're able to move on after that took way too long. Frank says, well, Mr. Bankston, it seems that poker is your kind of game. If you'd like to come back later tonight, we'll be playing a more private game with considerably higher stakes. Is it poker again? Yes. Are we going to have to spend a lot of time save scumming again? Yes. Once was bad enough, twice is just... why? Be sure to give Woody the password Frank sent you. He'll let you in for free, and you'll gain admission to our private room. If everything works well, says Frank, perhaps we can talk a little business afterwards. I guess where are you standing? All right, let's head back to our hotel room. If you decide you want a drink, I'm at your service. No, we're cool. Just got a beat with our fellow cops. Oh, I shouldn't have said that out loud. You're standing on the second floor of the Hotel Delforia. Rooms 201 to 204 can be found on this floor. The door on the west wall opens to the stairway. All right, so now we just have to wait for the officers to arrive. Through the window, you see the pulsating metropolis of Lytton. Nothing in here, can't explore. They didn't bother rendering that room. So we'll just wait. March back and forth while we wait. There's actually not much left to the game, except, as I said, another long poker sequence. You hear a knock on the door, followed by the turn of the doorknob. 3 men enter, 2 of them familiar. Hey, Sonny, how's it going? Says the lead detective. I'm sure glad we found your room. I'd hate to have someone call the cops on us for breaking and entering. We're ready whenever you are, Whitey, he concludes. Get transmitter. Detective England hands you the transmitter and a new supply of marked $100 bills. You carefully clip the transmitter to your pocket. We'll monitor your voice transmitter at all times. We're anxiously waiting to assist you in any arrests. Take a look at this, says England. We just received a fax from Chicago that includes the mugshot of one Jesse Baines. Although the fax is rather fuzzy, you have the feeling that you've seen this face before. And that's it. Now we just go back and play poker again. Again, these gambling minigames are interesting, but they are gambling. There's no real trick to winning them except save scumming, and it just makes the whole process tedious the more you have to do it. I guess I should talk to the bartender so he'll let me back there first. Frank sent me. Nice to see you again, Mr. Bankston. Please follow me. I mean, you know who I am. I was literally here like 5 minutes ago. The panel opens once again. Woody explains to the mysterious person behind the door, I brought a player for the big game in the back room. And while it is the big game, the stakes aren't really that much higher. Come over here, please. Whitey says, Woody, I'll have to frisk you again. It's just a formality, you understand, sir. Didn't find our transmitter. And we're going all the way to the back room. Gentleman, announces Woody. Welcome back, Mr. Jimmy Lee Bankston. And it's just the same people we were playing cards with before. Frank welcomes you back to the game. Hello again, Mr. Bankston. I believe you know everyone here. This time, you look carefully at Frank as he shuffles the cards. Cold chills race down your spine as a blast of adrenaline searches through your body as you realize he exactly matches the description of Jesse Baines, the Death Angel, after whom the game is named. All right. Again, the stakes are pretty much the same. And although they gave us more money, we still have the same amount of money. So I don't know what any of the guys were talking about. All right. Finally managed that. That took, again, way too long. Well, Mr. Bankston, says Frank, you're a poker player after my own heart. Frank then asks, Whitey, if I may call you that, I understand you may be looking for work. Let's save first of all. Very good. I like your style. How would you like to join me in my suite for a drink, Whitey, says Frank. I have a business proposition to discuss with you. Yes. Great. Follow me. And now we have a long walk up the stairs. Thankfully, these aren't Sierra Death stairs, so we will not fall to our death for approaching them the wrong way. This is not King's Quest. They are a bit obnoxious, of course. You whisper a soft room 404 into your transmitter pen, informing your backup unit of your location. Well, Mr. Bankston, says Baines, I have a little proposition for you that I know you'll love. I'm interested, you reply. Just then the telephone rings in the next room. Fix yourself a drink while I answer the phone, says Baines. You step up to the bar and peruse the selection of beverages. Baines draws his gun and aims it directly at you. Hold it right there, pig, he shouts. It seems one of our card-playing compadres recognized your ugly mug from a minor misunderstanding he had with the heat a while back. You're about to find out just how much I hate cops. Just then a knock on the door diverts Baines' attention. You dive to the floor and struggle to remove the derringer from your cane. A loud crash and the door flies open. Your backup has arrived. Baines is taken down in the barrage of gunfire. In the twinkling of an eye, the shootout is over. Sprawled unconscious on the carpet with a near-fatal belly wound lies Jesse Baines, the Death Angel. Jesse Hiram Baines, the Death Angel, was brought to justice and tried in the Superior Court of the City of Lighton on the following charges. Illegal gambling. Hotel Delphoria bartender Woody Roberts turned state's evidence and, as a witness for the prosecution in return for a suspended sentence and 3 years probation, provided convincing testimony concerning the gambling activities of Jeffrey Baines, Otto Lipschitz, and Gene the Bambino Bamboni. Drug trafficking. Drug pusher Donald D. Colby turned state's evidence and, as a witness for the prosecution in return for a suspended sentence and 5 years probation, provided convincing testimony concerning the Baines narcotic distribution network. Attempted murder. Lighton PD Detective Bonds, England, and Smith presented eyewitness testimony concerning the shootout at the Hotel Delphoria. First-degree murder. Ballistic tests provide a positive match between Baines' .32 caliber automatic handgun and the weapon used to murder Jason Taselli. And now the result of that trial. The Honorable Judge Kim Palmer asks the foreman of the jury, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, have you reached your verdict? The foreman answers, yes, we have, Your Honor. Bailiff, please bring the jury's verdict to me. You gotta slowly walk. All the way around. The pacing in this is just terrible. Bailiff, please read the jury's verdict to the court. Charge illegal gambling, guilty as charged. Drug trafficking, guilty as charged. Attempted murder, guilty as charged. First-degree murder, guilty as charged. Mr. Baines, please rise for the sentencing. Do you have any last statement before I pronounce sentencing? Baines looks straight into your eyes. No, Your Honor. Then under his breath he hisses across the aisle. Bonds, you're a dead man. Staring intently at Baines, Judge Palmer says firmly, Jesse Hiram Baines, you are hereby sentenced. Jesse Hiram Baines, you are hereby sentenced to a total of 97 years in the state penitentiary without possibility of parole. The courtroom erupts in spontaneous applause. You smile broadly until you catch Baines' glaring holes through your skull. You know your life is not yet free of the Death Angel. We have 246 out of 245 points. 3 days pass with Baines safely ensconced in the state penitentiary at Vacaville, in the city of Lighton, is once again a quiet, peaceful community freed from the grasp of the Death Angel. Oh no, we have 250 out of 245. Awesome. Following a ticker tape parade down Main Street in your honor, a huge crowd is gathered on the courthouse steps. Mayor Fuddrucker and Chief Whipplestick wait at the top of the steps while you pass through the department honor guard. Sonny Bonds, the mayor reads, "As mayor, I wish to express the appreciation of the people of the city of Lighton for your service to them and present you with this expression of our gratitude, this key to the city." Congratulations, you've won Police Quest. You are a true veteran police officer proven in the line of duty. We hope you have enjoyed playing. If you liked Police Quest, be sure to play our other 3D animated graphic adventures games from Sierra, King's Quest 1, 2, and 3, The Black Cauldron, Space Quest 1 and 2, and Leisure Suit Larry in the Land of the Land Lizards. You'll also enjoy our 3 helicopter simulator that allows you to have dogfighting with your friends via modem or just fly through many cities for fun. Just packing in the ads there at the end, are we? And here comes Sweet Cheeks. Smooch, smooch, smooch. Oh, Sonny, my hero. Alright, so is Police Quest Copaganda? In a sense, but in another sense, it's not even a police procedural so much as it is a police procedure simulation. Even more so than Space Quest or King's Quest, it's a brutal game if you step outside the lines of what you're supposed to do, rigidly adhere to process. So much so that reporting at the time indicated that it had been actually used as training materials in some police districts. Well, I'm not sure if that's true or not. NPC interactions are more advanced than we've seen in Sierra games so far, but we don't really have the tools to handle them. The commands we've had to enter to order suspects around aren't as systemically robust as what we'd seen in Infocom's text adventures, but instead special case command strings you are expected to figure out on your own. I imagine Sierra sold a lot of strategy guides this way. For what it is, the narrative is surprisingly twisty compared to the King's Quest and Space Quest games we've covered, in that more changes over time in Police Quest and more subplot tangents with darker, more mature outcomes. Yes, we've stopped the Death Angel, but our co-worker's daughter overdosed and died along the way. Tonally, this is uneven as we have the desk sergeant comedic struggles with the precinct gremlin, but not in a way that serves as an effective counterpoint to the drama. The unexpected goofiness that stems from the cop writer's experience in which something like that happens at a precinct. So that's Police Quest. More mature in tone and structure, but still lacking by today's narrative standards, with a frustrating focus on proper procedure and glacial pacing.